When people talk about getting divorced, they say that the biggest argument is usually around money. Today, I want to talk about the money conversations most couples avoid.
I think he was going to tell me you want to get divorced.
Right on the podcast. No warning.
Wow, okay. That came out of left field.
You made me laugh in the intro because I saw your eyes.
You what?
You're like, I'm going to make a gif out of that one. Anyways, that's what we're going to talk about. Money conversations couples avoid. So I guess what are your first thoughts about that sentence? Like, what do you think most couples avoid talking about when it comes to money?
The emotional side of money. Like why? Well, I think there's a few things, but people. I don't think we've done an episode on money scripts, have we? That's something that we should do an episode on. But basically, people tell themselves stories about money, and they view money through various different lenses. And unless you really understand how your partner views money, it's going to be if it's different than you, it's going to be very difficult for you to come to a consensus where everybody is happy on how you manage what you're doing, how you're spending your money. So I would say that's a topic, because often people don't even know that's a topic that exists. But I'd say that's a topic that almost is never discussed as a couple.
It's hard when you always get the answer right off the hop, you know?
Oh,
where I'm just
sorry.
like, no, obviously it's a good thing, but I'm like, dang it, I thought I was going to catch you on that one. But it's true. I wanted to talk more about how this is kind of like I was actually reading articles about like couples counseling and stuff in the end.
Yeah, I was actually,
because it's so tied together.
As I was thinking about it, I was like, oh man, maybe that's something that I should add as something that I discuss with couples, because I don't really talk about it enough, maybe, for how important it is.
Which is what? The money scripts?
The money scripts, yeah. Yeah.
That is something that I'm super interested in. So I don't want to go too deep into it because I want to do a proper episode about it. Mm-hmm. But I do touch on it here, like, very briefly. But it's basically that, like you said, people tell themselves stories about what things mean. And this is, again, like a human behavior thing across the board. Mm-hmm. So, like, money is not unique in this way where people assign meaning to things that don't always make them true, but that doesn't make them irrelevant to the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people who are fighting about money aren't actually fighting about money.
Oftentimes not. No.
Oftentimes, yeah. So some of the key things that they're fighting about are safety, security, freedom, control, fairness, guilt, or even feeling unheard, which I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. Because the other ones I was like, yeah. Like, I've heard this story. I could see that easily. But feeling unheard, I was like, that's actually, like, again, very couples therapy-ish. But it's true. Just that simple thing could cause arguments. And I feel like that could happen to anyone.
Absolutely. Especially when it hasn't been intentionally addressed. So something that often comes up and this is more for older couples because it's a little bit more traditional, where like the guy worked and the mum stayed at home and managed the money, like that type of house, if that makes sense, is the safety thing, the security thing is really important. And so, for example, with couples in that type of situation, it's not uncommon that the spouse, that the wife will stock money away somewhere in a separate hidden account. Right? We call it financial infidelity, is what we call it.
It's true.
But it's common. It's really common. But that itself comes from a lack of, like, what if we break up and then that's not the way the law works, but like that's the fear. But they don't talk about, if you're having that conversation with them, they're not tying it back to that. It's just, I found out my wife has another secret account, and she's like, well, I'm just trying to save money, you know, like it's just because it's not, that's the root of it. And that was never addressed. Right. And no, because nobody realized that was even a fear that somebody had, etc. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like realistically, when you're talking about money in couples or families in general, it's like these are individuals, even people who are raised in the same environment. It's like they might have a very individual thought or like script about money. So it's like you're married to someone and you might have shared goals even, but sometimes it's like the way you're going is different. So even that is like a challenge, I guess. I want to quote this article because I thought it was really good. The article was by a psychologist, Dr. Ari Seitner, and he talked about perpetual problems. So there's two types of problems. I guess I can't remember what the first one was because I didn't quote it. But it was basically like, this is the problem and here's the solution. Easy. Perpetual problems are disagreements that come back again and again, like a recurring house guest you never invited. Dr. John Gottman's research at the University of Washington revealed something that stunned many in the field. 69% of all relationship conflict falls into this category. These problems do not get solved because they are not at their root about the topic on the surface. They are rooted in a fundamental differences in personality, values, upbringing, and what Gottman called life dreams. Perpetual problems are not a sign of a broken relationship. They are a sign of two distinct human beings who came from different places and want different things. Every couple has them. So I thought that was really well put, and just something that is almost like if people had capacity to have that self-awareness and to have a resource like, honestly, the money scripts, which is a really good resource, then they would be able to like figure out the root of these perpetual problems.
FYI, if you're thinking, what the heck is he talking about, manuscripts? If you Google Dr. Brad Klontz, it'll kind of give you an idea. There's lots of material that he's created, and I think it's him and his father. They're psychiatrists or psychologists. I never remember the difference. But he's, focusing on that type of research. And, Google it. We'll do an episode on it later. But
yeah, just for like if people are like, what is this?
About? Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Basically, just like a quick summary of what we've been talking about is like these perpetual problems are not just in money, but they definitely are part of money.
Absolutely.
Pretty much across the board all of the time, I would say, because it's not, like you said, it's not about the wife having a separate savings account. The problem is she doesn't feel secure enough in the relationship to trust that this is a steady enough environment for me to not have to have a backup plan. So it's like all of these things are unfortunately tied together when it comes to even like relationships and therapy and all that stuff. But yeah. So honestly, that's most of the episode. Now I'm quickly scanning through my notes. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess when it comes like the money scripts, which we will talk more about, are just figuring out what you value and what you assign meaning to. Because I think I talked about it briefly. Like you could have a shared goal as a couple, but maybe the route you're taking is different. Or you might be like, yeah, we're on the same page on this, but you want to do this and I want to do this, and it's not making sense to either of us. And I think those conversations are usually what people are arguing about when it comes to money, and they're avoiding like the root of the problem, whatever that is. So again, figuring out like if you're more of a secure person, like I want to feel money makes me feel secure. So you going out and spending it is making me feel insecure.
Because a lot of those, once you can identify what it is, there are ways to address it. So that one, for instance, is really common.
Yeah.
And part of it is, okay, well then let's reframe it to figure out what about money, or even better, let's tie how much money do we actually need to feel secure? Because then like at least gives you a starting point of, okay, if your concern is how do I not run out of money? Well then how much money do we need in order to not run out of money? Like whatever you want to set the benchmark to, but it at least gives you a starting point. But if the argument stays very surface level and you don't have that self-awareness, it can be very difficult to actually come to a solution that everybody's happy with, everybody's comfortable with.
They actually talked about that. The next paragraph, which I didn't link it in here, but because I read it, I remember. But they were talking about that. And that's like the danger zone, they call it, which is called a gridlock, where you never get to the root of the problem. Like you said, you're just staying on the surface. Like you're spending too much. You're not spending enough, whatever. You're stuck. And it's never going to go away. And you're going to, like, the only way out is to end the relationship, basically, because there's no way out of that until you get to the actual root and address those core feelings or like stories that you're telling yourself. Like, I know this is a shorter one and maybe people are like, this is not anything new. It's obvious. Maybe that is the case, but I think people still have arguments and they haven't figured out what the real problem is when it comes to money. So maybe it is obvious that it's something else, but do you actually know what it is? Do you know how you feel about money? Do you know how your spouse feels about money?
Most people don't even know why they're arguing, so I highly doubt.
I'm like, everyone's self-aware. I know. This is like my knowledge bias. Everyone follows psychology stuff on. No one knows.
I think that also is where you would say to somebody like, okay, well then what do you want? Like what's going to actually alleviate this concern? And then a lot of people will be like, I don't know. I just feel this way.
And that's where probably outside guidance comes in. When you have a problem, I want to say, maybe not like severe, but it's like when it's that impacting your life where you're in a gridlock kind of situation, or it's like maybe having an outside perspective in whatever way. Like,
that's where,
to be honest, like
getting a counselor and stuff like that is like somebody trained in that type of thing.
But I want to say quickly, like, because this is about finance and not about relationship therapy, I do kind of feel like you are that.
I've had so many people say that to me.
Because I'm like, I did not want to go
I'll often when people, because they're like, well, you're not my therapist, I'm like, absolutely right, I'm not your therapist. You should come talk to one though.
You're like, I can't give medical advice, but you need help. You need some serious
but
help.
It's true that I've definitely been in conversations, and it's like where there's been those aha moments where you're like, well, maybe one person is feeling this way, or trying to get people on the same page, but it comes up because it's so intertwined. And that's why I honestly, I think there's an entire career out there for psychiatrists, psychologists. Is it psychiatrists? No, psychiatrists are mental health prescription.
They can prescribe, I think is the main
difference. So psychologist and money coach type merge thing. I think there is a place for that type of profession in this world. Some do.
Like this guy actually seemed to have a bit of a niche. I didn't actually look up where he's from, but he does, because he's quoting someone from Washington. I think he's in the States. But his website did kind of seem to be geared towards finances, which I think if you're working with couples specifically,
that's going to be the number one
argument,
number one reason couples split up, right, is to do with
so it's like if you know enough, you can kind of marry the two. Sorry. Anyways, you're like, and this is the new episode on divorce that I'm initiated. Okay. Anyways, so one quick thing I wanted to say is, how do we manage money conversations? Because again, tying it back to the last episode, I talked about being married to a financial planner. Obviously, we talk about money like more often than other people probably do, and not arguing like we also talked about. So
we talk about it as often as it hits our lives.
Yeah. But I guess it's like, it just depends on what you mean by talking about money. Like, I don't view it. First of all, we have systems in place. That's something I said.
So what would you like? Let's say we're going out grocery shopping and I'm like, how much is in the food account? Would you consider that a money conversation?
Like, technically, yes, but I wouldn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think other people think of money conversations as like, ugh, or like arguments. Like, if you bring it up, it's taboo, like all those other things.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it's so intertwined in our day-to-day that I'm like, I don't know what's in the food budget.
It's in the food account.
Food account. Sorry, yeah. What's currently the balance, right? Like, I'll check, but it doesn't, like, make me feel any kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like, I just do it and whatever. But we have systems in place. So every purchase is not a debate or something we have to, like, check in. It's like, we have the budget. here's the food account. Yeah, you may be like, what's in there right now? Can we order pizza? But overall, if you go and get groceries, I'm not like, why did you buy kale? It's $17 right now.
I needed that money to get bulbs for the garden. Like, it's just that I don't know. I can't think of an example.
What's a bulb? For
like an old seed thing, you know?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's like light bulb.
The garden out there. Anyway, those are very intentional systems that we've put into place to avoid all of that.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like there is bigger fish to fry in our lives. Those small money arguments that people have when you go spend money from your spending account, I don't care. You do whatever the heck you want. Like that's not a It is not a joint check-in thing, right? Like we both get the same spending money. Like there's no we've had those discussions on or like you spoke about, like it's about what's fair, or it's what like things like that. We've had those conversations. So having those conversations, making a plan, putting systems into place that work for us is kind of means that we don't really.
And like another thing that I think we do well, not to be like self-congratulatory or anything like that, but we also have like check-ins. So it's like if something were to happen where I'm like, you know, I feel some type of way about that, whatever. Like we do have check-ins to be like, I think we can come at it at a different angle than some people because we've set all of this stuff up that I'm okay to come to you with those feelings, or to be like, am I being irrational? Which I ask you a lot when I go to you about other things too. Am I crazy? But we do have like conversations ongoing. And I think I wanted to say that because I think some people will be like, oh, well, I'll set up these systems and then like, and I'll figure out my money script and then everything's all good to go now. It's like, no, just like anything else in life, having the knowledge is power. But in practice, you still have to like, these things are going to resurface again. You're still probably going to have feelings of like whatever your issue is, basically like insecurity or fear or like
but you control. Can also do things that like there was one couple I was working through where that financial thing happened, right, where she was putting money on the side, etc. And it was a case of, okay, if that's the way that you feel, you're now both aware of it now, let's address it, right? So we still kept that. It's just that instead of it sitting in cash, we opened a individual account that was just in her name with those funds in there, because he was concerned that basically we'd have all this money sitting here doing nothing. I have no plans to divorce you and leave you to the curb, so we're this is being almost irresponsible just doing this. Or let's make it all better, right? And like come to a way that everybody can move on and still be comfortable and be happy, right? So a lot of it may not be as bad, I guess, is what, like, just because you're having the feeling, there's likely other people that have had the same feeling and the same emotion. And for me, I guarantee that I've come across a way to help alleviate these feelings or these emotions in this way, right? And sometimes the emotions might be that the two people, and this happens a lot if somebody is a big spender and somebody's a more saving orientated person, that maybe you guys are not compatible in this sense and you will never see eye to eye on this, right? Like, it's just a lot of it, as I mentioned, like how you grew up and things like that play such a key thing.
And sometimes, like, as unfortunate as it is, these things don't come out. Like, you don't like meet someone and they're like, hey, like, here's all my trauma, and like, ugh, even though I would like that. Let's get into the more interesting parts of life. But anyway, like, that's not how life works. So when you're in a relationship with somebody, those things can come out maybe slower, or they can start surfacing, and you're like, yeah, sometimes I guess being in a relationship is like questioning and taking a more like curious standpoint versus a critical, to be like, that's weird. Why is my wife putting money aside? That's strange, or like, that's interesting. Why is that happening? Versus being like, what are you doing? And like, and kind of making the feeling worse, I guess. So obviously we're not giving out advice this is kind of derailing a little bit. It's late and I'm getting tired. But that's something that I wanted to touch on. It's like, from our point of view, like, again, being married to a planner, these conversations are not somehow gone for us. Like, we still have conversations. We still have to negotiate certain things. There are times where we're first married and I have a loan that I'm not paying off, and you're like, hey, you should really.
I wasn't even a financial planner then, so.
Like, we need to talk, and I was like, I don't want to. I'm scared. But it turned out okay. Yeah. So, you know what? Like, these conversations, don't avoid them. Just try to look for what's actually happening. Like, what am I missing in this situation? And I do think people would be better off if they had that mentality, that viewpoint of being like, to be interested in what the other person is saying instead of immediately defensive about what they're doing, or what, like, to have that curiosity about what's really going on for them. So I think it really ties into money, and I would love to know other people's thoughts on that, or if they've had conversations that went awry or went well, to kind of, yeah, it'd be cool to hear more people's like take on it. But
it's funny because I've had so many.
You're like, no more, please. I'm like, I want to hear some. Share with me.
I wish I could tell you more about what I've had.
I know. You have to be so vague about like these stories that you tell. I'm like, ooh, that's so interesting.
Vague. Yeah. Oh well.
That's the episode.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yep. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Plain English Finance Podcast. Trey Bynoe, Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Investment Manager, is a financial planner with TC Wealth Management and Aviso Wealth. You should always consult with your financial, legal, and tax advisors before making changes. This podcast is provided as a general source of information and should not be considered personal investment advice or solicitation to buy or sell any securities. The views expressed are those of the individual and are not necessarily those of Aviso Financial Inc. Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.